My name is SHARON KISIRE, a HR practitioner based in Nairobi, Kenya. I have been in HR for about 19 years now, having worked in both private and public institutions. I am a member of the AfCAA Standards Committee. Today, I'm delighted to present in this interesting topic, maximizing the potential of millennials at the workplace. It is derived from one of our standards, talent management. And in today's webinar, I will discuss four main areas. The first one is the strategies to understand or manage the millennials in the workplace. Number two is to appreciate the ideal work environment for them, the environment in which they will be able to thrive and to do their best. I'll also talk about how managers can be empowered to get the best out of the millennials. And fourth, how we can prepare our organizations and transform them to be able to accommodate the millennials when they do join us and come to work with us. So just by way of introduction, I would like to introduce to us some facts that came out of a study that was done within here in Kenya. It was done by a HR manager by the name of Miriam Gadura. And in her research, she found out very, very interesting outcomes. She took the Maslow's theory that we know, the 5 needs of Maslow's theory, and compared them to the needs of the millennials. And it's very interesting just to look at it, that for Maslow's theory, we have 5 needs. The first one being the physiological needs, where we have food, we have water, and then we have security needs as a second level of need. We have the third, which is belongingness, friendships, being within a community, fitting within a community. And then we have the fourth, which is esteem needs, where people look for prestige, they want to accomplish things, they want those accomplishments to be seen by many and appreciated. And then we have self-actualization. That is according to Maslow. Now, Miriam, in her research, found that there are only 3 needs for the millennials. Very interesting. At the very bottom, which is what they cannot do without, is recognition. They want to be recognized. They enjoy status. They enjoy connection. Social life for them means a lot. They enjoy prestige, feeling of accomplishment, education. That's what means a lot to a millennial. And the second level of need is security. They want to feel secure. They want to enjoy flexi working environment, flexi jobs. Food then comes there for them as the second level of need. They want to have a car very early in life. As soon as they finish school, they want to be driving. They enjoy having good clothes, and most of all, they like their independence. And then at the very top, in terms of their need, is family, adventure, and celebrity life. So when you compare the two, what Maslow had talked about in terms of the 5 needs that we have been used to for a very, very long time, now we have these 3 other needs that belong to the millennials. A little connected to what we have for Maslow, but in the way that they've been divided, it's a little different. Just a few facts then about millennials. Who are they? The first one is they are people who are born between 1981 to about the year 2000. And it's interesting that they hold more college degrees and debt than those who came before them. And by 2025, they will comprise about 80% of the workplace. And that is why it is important to understand them and to know what their needs are and how they can easily fit within the work environment. Another fact about them is that they change jobs more than any other generation. In other words, they are people who would come into the work environment, they do what they need to do, they make their impact, and they move on to another job to do the same. As they grew up, they were used to getting what they wanted. First of all, because their parents were very busy working. And so because they were busy working, they would give them what they required so that they, in some way, compensate for being away. So they're used to getting what they want. And as they grew up, they sought their parental approval. But when they get to adulthood, they now seek peer approval. So for them, what their peers think about them, what their peers tell them is very, very critical and important for them. These millennials also do not know how to develop and maintain deep relationships. And so it is an area that I'll be talking about later, that it is important for us to help them to know how they can improve their social skills and therefore maintain and develop and maintain deep relationships, both at home and even at work. This generation is motivated by making an impact. They want to see that they are recognized for what they do. They want to feel that they have made a difference where they have been, especially at the workplace. So looking at the millennials then at the workplace, because they lacked that parental guidance and presence, when they get to the workplace, they look for parents. They look for people who will approve of them. They look for people who will give them guidance as they continue working and as they do their jobs. Like I said earlier, they are used to receiving what they wanted. So when they come even to the workplace, getting a no is not something very easy for them to deal with. They have high engagement in social media. Their phone is their greatest solution provider. So as they go through challenges in life, challenges even within the work environment, they turn to social media for answers, for solutions. But in the real world, which we find in the world of work, they realize that they are not able to get what they want. And they realize that no one gets anything for free. They are not able to manage a lot of the toughness that is found in the real world. They do not know how to manage stress. They do not know how to manage difficult issues that come to them, both at workplace and even in life out there at home. And therefore, that could be the reason why we see a lot of statistics of hopelessness around the world. They need to connect. And when that connection is lacking, they do not know how to deal with themselves. And peer influence is extremely important for them. PwC carried out a research covering about 1,000 millennials spread across 18 global territories. And this is what they found, that one, they are committed to their jobs. They are committed to their jobs. They do what they are supposed to do. They change jobs often. They get bored quickly with one job and therefore continue changing jobs and looking for interests elsewhere. They value their work-life balance. They value an environment where there's some flexibility, and they're not willing to give up that flexibility and that work-life balance, even if they gain materially. They appreciate a flexible work environment where there is, for example, some variation of working hours, that they do not come to work in the way we know it, 8 to 5, but that there's a bit of flexibility. Flexibility also in terms of their workstations, that they are not in one place for too long, that there is a change even where they work. They believe a lot in productivity, because remember, there are people who want to make an impact. Therefore, they believe in productivity, but a difference in how they want this to be done is that it should not be measured based on the hours spent, like we do very often these days. But they want that productivity to be measured in terms of achievement. What have they achieved? Whether they are working at home, they are working in a different place, they are working for different hours, what have they achieved at the end of the day? And this team of people also was found out by PwC in their research that they appreciate teamwork and team cohesion. They are people who want to connect with others. They are people who thrive by working with other people. They want to team with others and do things together. The other area we were to look at is appreciating then the ideal work environment within which these millennials will thrive. And for them, they enjoy diversity. They enjoy meeting different people. They enjoy working in different environments. They enjoy inclusion because of the teamwork that means so much for them and team cohesion. And they also enjoy flexibility. So within our work environment, what they would enjoy most is a flexible work culture. They will enjoy policies that provide, inclusion of others. They will work in an environment where team cohesion is encouraged, where you find, for example, that there are team rewards. You find, for example, that people work together. They come up with ideas together. They co-create in the way they work. They work together, and that way it enhances their enjoyment even within the workplace. Like I mentioned earlier, when millennials come to work, they are looking for, they have a parental need, and they're looking for people and supervisors and managers who can be able to provide this. They enjoy a sense of community, even within the work environment. They are highly digital, and therefore it is important for institutions to fully leverage on technology, to improve the level of technology that is used within the work environment. And they're also very free-spirited. They prefer, flexible structures, not too long structures where you have too many supervisors, but a flatter structure. And they also want to find meaning in their work. So every job that they do, every task that they are given within their job description needs to provide meaning for them. They need to be able to connect to that which they do on a day-to-day basis. They need love and connection, like I have said. So within a work environment, for example, it is important that there are programs that assist employees. When, for example, they're going through difficulties in life, which comes to all of us, it is important for them that there are programs that then would assist them. It is important for them, for example, when they're joining the organization, that they have some buddy programs, people who will work with them, who will socialize them into the organization, into the culture of the organization, and help them even to be able to settle. In terms of connection and love, they will also appreciate things like leave, when parental leave, for example, when they get a baby, whether they are male or female, they would really, or they do appreciate when they get that leave to go. And they also want opportunity, and they want to be shown that they are important. Therefore, how do you show them that they are important? Care of them, provide for them holidays, give them Wi-Fi at home, show that you trust them, involve them in decision-making, appreciate them for what they do, even if it is a small thing that they've been able to achieve, appreciate them for that. And then earlier I talked about them not being able to make meaningful relationships. Therefore, how do we help them in the workplace? We must help them to develop social skills, to be able to communicate, to be able to build friendships, to be able to maintain those friendships and make them as meaningful as they can be. The other area that we wanted to look at in this webinar was the managerial or supervisory preparedness. How do we then get ready if within a short time we'll be having 80% of these people in the workplace? The first one is, for those of us who are a little older, we're required to prepare ourselves mentally and to appreciate that the ways and methods that we managed in the years past will not work in the years to come, or even presently with the millennials. We must prepare ourselves to accept that there's a change in generation, and therefore to be open to ideas and to be open to the millennials and to accept them into the work environment and just see how can we work with them and help them to do what they are required to do. The other is, for us as supervisors and managers, we need to continually learn as well and help these millennials to continually learn because they enjoy that. So we need to provide opportunities that help them to explore their talent, to grow their talent, and to build their talent, and more importantly, to use that which they have learned. I talked about parental guide, that this is what they need, and therefore for us as managers, we must be able to mentor them, we must be able to coach them, we must be able to help them to align to their goals that we set at the beginning of a performance period, for instance, and help them just to be able to do that which they're required to do. A parent guides with love, a parent guides with concern. This is what they are looking for, that even as we coach them, we take into cognizance the fact that they want us to work with them at a pace that is good for them, a pace that is clear for them, and they're able to understand what we are guiding them towards. We can also help or prepare for these millennials by creating varieties in work. There are people who get bored very quickly, doing a certain task, and therefore we need to come up with ways and means through which we can make work very interesting, that we can create fun at work, that we can be able to ensure that they enjoy, the environment that we have created within work. Not an environment of seriousness, but an environment that is enabling and interesting and possible for them to do their best and to meet the targets that have been given to them. We must also prepare by leveraging on technology. How is the work done in our organizations? How are targets, for instance, agreed on? How is our performance management system? Is it based on some technology platform? We must invest, for example, in technology that helps them to even apply leave using the systems that are available. They are so tech, their technology level is extremely high. And therefore, for us to be able to create that conducive environment, we must also ensure that we are leveraging on technology. That was for the managers and for the supervisors. Now to the organization, how do we prepare our organizations for change? How do we move from where we are today to the level where we want to be, where we can welcome the millennials and help them to work with us? The first, which is related to what I said earlier, is we must skill our managers. We must skill our managers to look at things differently. We must skill our managers to be able to work with the millennials. We must skill our managers to have the competencies required for them to supervise these millennials and for them to create a conducive environment for them. We must also create working spaces which are free, not an office, in the four walls that we know today. The millennials are free-spirited, like I said, so they enjoy to work in a free environment. So how much can we free our work environment for them to be able to work in? We must digitize our workspaces as we prepare to receive the millennials. We must also provide opportunities in our organization or in our offices where employees can have fun, where employees can have some work-life balance, systems for them to use. For example, in a gym, provide games, provide team building, opportunities. Be creative about giving those opportunities to staff, to the millennials, to be able to enjoy themselves, even at the workplace. Ensure that you have a system and policies for growth for the employees. Growth in terms of knowledge, growth in terms of their competencies, growth in terms of their jobs, growth in terms of being promoted to a different position. That is what millennials would really thrive in. And this does not just apply to millennials. Actually, it applies to all of us. Every human being would love and will enjoy to grow. So prepare and ensure that you provide that within the organization. And like I said earlier, millennials do not stay for too long in one organization. They like to make an impact and to move on. So as you do all that you need to do to prepare your organization for change, to prepare your managers, to be able to work with the millennials, at the back of your mind, be prepared that they're going to leave. And when they leave, they will be working elsewhere. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all we had time for today. Watch out for our next webinar, which will be posted to you soon. Thank you very much for your participation. We've enjoyed the questions that you've asked us. And for more information about AfCAA, you can visit our website, www.afcaa.org, or email us on info@afcaa.org. Goodbye, and God richly bless you.